There are many tales to tell at Christmas time. Some good, some great, some superb. Others, but one tale that never gets told is the story of two friends and their podcast.
Oh, hello there. I didn't see you come in. Cheers.
General.
I see you. I see you brought some holiday grog with you.
Yes, it's my winter warmer. This is not brought to you by Saranac. Trust me.
Certainly warms you up in the winter, right?
Yeah. Yes, I guess so.
Well, thank you for coming to our Playing Favorites holiday special. This is our second annual holiday special.
The
It's
first
very
video
exciting.
one. First video one, though.
Yes. First time you get to see us. We were wearing the same thing last year. You just didn't know.
Yeah, this is actually, we filmed this last year. We just decided not to releasing videos until now.
Mm-hmm.
No, not really.
We're
No.
super excited for 2020. We know it's going to be an amazing year.
But yes, our official
seriously.
holiday special. We did it a little later this year. Last year I think we did it before the holidays. But this year we decided to do it kind of during the holidays, actually.
In the midst of the holidays,
Yes,
right?
yes.
We're in the eye of the hurricane of the holidays, right? We're right after Hanukkah and Christmas, and we are right before New Year's. So this will be coming out in the new year, so it'll be the first episode of ours in the new year, 2021. But this is kind of just an episode about our favorite things about the year 2020. There are some things to be happy about.
That's new. We were talking about favorite things? That's crazy. Do we do that usually?
Yeah, we're going to throw the formula out. We're going to try something completely different. We're going to talk about things that we like this time, Justin.
Yep, not things that we hate.
All right. Instead of focusing on the negative, we're gonna focus on the positive, on the things that we like. So you had kind of an interesting way of going through this episode. Well, first of all, let's if this is your first time listening to the podcast, well, bravo to you for starting with the holiday special. Welcome. If you haven't seen our back catalog, we highly encourage you to listen to our podcast, watch our videos on our newly minted YouTube channel. You can find us as Playing Favorites on YouTube, as well as check out the stuff we have over on our Patreon page. You can become a patron like Mac40K Painting and Josh Benoit. Thanks, guys.
Yes, they're awesome, and all the other supporters we had throughout this kind of challenging year. Thank you.
Yes, cheers to you. You're the real MVPs. But besides our Patreon page and our YouTube page, we have been working very hard on organizing a very fun event coming up in the end of January. And we've been kind of like throwing this around for a while. I know Justin has been very eagerly preparing with his spreadsheets and getting ready for this, because why don't you explain it? Because you clearly have a love for Microsoft Excel.
Yes, even though I burn Paul's eyes with my color choices, I guess. No, I thought it'd be kind of fun to kind of end our second season, because this is technically not the end. It might be the end of 2020, but we wanted to finish it off in a good year.
Yes.
So it won't be happening the next episode, but the following episode, we're trying to figure it out. We're going to be doing a tournament of favorites. So it's season 1 versus season 2.
Yep.
Which favorite out of all those seasons, which are 2, will be the number 1 favorite? But we want you to help us with that. So we're going to be inviting all of our fans and listeners to come to watch us live. So we want to have you as like kind of like our tiebreaker, because me and Paul like a lot of the same things, so it might be kind of hard. But sometimes we differ, so it might be kind of hard to know exactly what the true favorite is. So we want to have the fans part of it. So we're gonna figure that out, set that up, and I think we're gonna stream it live on our YouTube channel. That's our plan.
So keep an eye on our Patreon page and our Twitter at PlayFavePodcast for more details and for updates as we get closer to this banner event. Very excited for this.
Yes.
We've got just listing out all the favorites from both seasons. It's been a trip down memory lane.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
It's going to be a long one. I mean, just be warned. You can come anytime. You want to come towards the end. You want to come in the beginning. And then maybe, like, you know, to leave during the intermission. Because we'll still be doing it. But you can just consider it intermission if you want. And then come towards
It's like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, right? You don't have to watch the whole thing. Just come in and out. But you got to see Santa at the end. So come in. Make sure you come and see the end.
Yeah.
See what we determine.
We think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and it's gonna. I'm sure it will run extremely smoothly, being our first live event. It's gonna be perfect. There's gonna be no problems whatsoever.
If 2020 has taught me anything, things will go according to plan.
Well, this is 2021, so it you know. All I know.
Still living 2020 life over
Pizza
here,
Cat. Pizza Cat will be there, so that's.
Yes, he will.
Anyways, that's
one love.
I think that's our housekeeping for the day, right? Let's just get into this, right? What are we gonna do here today, Paul?
Well, I mean, you had such a great suggestion for our first thing to talk here. Usually we do a surprise topic, but instead you had said let's talk about our favorite moment on the show this past season, and I thought that was a really really good idea. So I mean, let's dive in. Do you have something off the top of your head that you'd like to bring up? I mean, you might have a couple of these. They might not be the epitome of the very best moment, but just moments that stood out to you. You got anything in mind?
Well, I have one that's I guess I want to say, I'll say this because I feel this is kind of a shout out part anyway. We're going to say a few things. We did this last year too.
Sure.
And we try not to make this kind of a recap episode either. But I'd really actually, honestly, I think it's when we did the Your Lie in April episode for the bonus episode. I honestly thought that was I'm very shocked in how well of an episode that was. Now I know it's bonus. It's coming to our YouTube channel soon. Don't worry, you can check it out.
Stay tuned.
But I think that's where I kind of realized what our bonus episodes should be, and how we could be really good at deep diving into a certain kind of series or topic. And I just really, I don't know why I had so much fun with that episode. We talked about some themes about the show that I never really kind of thought about until talking with you about it. Even though it's been forever since I've watched it, I
feel like you were happy that I just took it seriously. That I was goddamn anime.
Well, there's that. I mean, that was a great moment. The fact that you kind of decided to indulge into something that. That's the one thing we don't really connect on too much. Is, I mean, granted, you don't hate anime. It's just I watch it way more than you. So it's It was kind of nice to talk about this I don't know, this side hobby that I don't really talk too much about with people except for Amber. So it was just sort of a fun little moment to have that kind of conversation because I don't really get to talk about even if you go online and talk about anime, it's you don't really talk about it. It's yeah, that anime is cool. Yep. That's a great anime. Made me cry. It's great.
It takes a while to get to the deep conversation with somebody about movies or a particular film. And yeah, I will agree. I will piggyback on that. Not just specifically the Your Lie in April episode, though that was a really great conversation. But I feel our really to me in the regular podcast are my favorite episode this past season, and I'd say the entire conversation was my favorite moment. Was the Studio Ghibli episode? Yeah. Just that conversation about all the films and how we kind of tied them all together, but we were able to give each film that we brought up its own kind of spotlight. Talk about why it's special, especially to us, why it was important. So that was a very fun one, and it was also a very
we could have kept going.
I don't know. I felt like it was our we really put our film critique hats on that day, and we were just we went to town. It was a very fun episode.
I just think it's when you start thinking about all the movies at once, with Studio Ghibli, it's everything just started it's just your brain just started seeing all the connections and seeing trends, and it made you think of oh, in that movie this is why, and I don't know, it just we could have like kept talking probably a very long time. We didn't touch on half the movies. Like, I
No,
mean,
and I
it's like,
think we've got a sequel episode to this in the works. I'm sure. Like we've got there's more to talk about because there were still some that we hadn't seen either. There were
yeah.
some.
Well,
Miyazaki films.
I talked a lot about the most recent one, the
Wind Rises.
yeah, you haven't
Is
seen
it?
that yet, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Correct. Correct.
No, that was a great episode, a great one. I do have a funny, like, I don't know if I should bring this up or not. I'll try to say it in a nice way. Was my
Okay.
favorite edit of the year. Um, and I had to edit out someone that was in the background in one of our recordings.
Oh, I forgot about this. Please remind me. Please remind me.
I didn't know how much you want me to say on air, but
Oh, please do.
okay, so it's pretty open. Okay, cool. So obviously, if you listen to our show, you know that we are both parents, and we both have children that are very young, and sometimes that night when we're recording, children act up, and I think that happened in your house. Something was going on where
Yes.
there was some frustration involved.
Yep. You're gonna have to remind me what the words were spoken because I don't remember.
Well,
the
it was
exact,
just it literally it was your wife just coming on air mid conversation saying "fuck you."
Oh. So it wasn't a fuck you. It was you fucking try.
Oh, that's right.
Because
Okay.
she had tried to, like,
Yeah.
our daughter was awake.
Oh.
You know, she's young, she was teething. You know,
Okay.
she's still a baby, and she was just getting up like every time Kristen went to try and put her down, wasn't working, and she just finally like stomped down here and it was like, "You fucking try." And I was just like,
See, like that's the
you
thing.
saw-
I didn't hear that part because it was like obviously she's like all I hear was like clacking and like lights and like clicking, and then you're just like you're mid sentence, and then all of a sudden like I'm just like I hear the sounds and you're just like I hear that, but it's like kind of marbled. I just hear the fuck part. That's all I really heard. Yep. And you're like I gotta go. And
I gotta go.
But hey, you got back in like 15 minutes. We finished the episode, and then no one knew. No one knew the wiser.
They call me the closer. That's why. I go in and I sing one song. Kids are out asleep. Yep. Yep. But yeah, that was hilarious. Like I knew someday that would happen. As we were like began this podcast, I was like, one of these days, our kids are just gonna like enter into the equation somewhere. But my wife entering into it, swearing in frustration. that really took the cake. Yeah, no, that was good. That was good. She was incredibly apologetic about it. She was all sorts of. She was like, "I'm so sorry. Like I know you're recording.
She apologized to me.
I'm like, I didn't care because we got it on film. Like we actually recorded it. Like it was great. Oh, that's the thing. We made a pact when we first had our son. Was like, what was it? Anything said to each other between like midnight and 5 a.m. is like it's off the books.
Yeah.
Like that's like don't like if we're like in the midst of trying to get the kids down and they're waking up in the middle of the night and we're all exhausted. It's like give each other some slack. You know, this is.
But the funny thing is, you probably you just remember the moment. Me, I'm listening to the recording over and over again, trying to figure out where it is to like edit it out, and I just hear I just hear that the F word over and over and over again. It's like,
fucking try. You. She came down with a fury, man. When you hear somebody walking down the stairs like that to you, you just freeze. Like there's nothing you can do. You're like a deer in headlights.
Yeah.
Like what am I gonna do? Act busy? Like pretend I'm busy?
So Justin, I have this really awesome story to tell that I can't be interrupted by.
Whatever you do, don't interrupt the next story I'm about to tell you. Fucking try. May I, in a similar vein of it wasn't like a gaffe or a mistake or anything, but this isn't something that it was not something I think many of our any of our viewers saw. It was us recording some footage of playing Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh yeah.
When we were trying to start like practicing what it would be like to do a let's play. And first of all, just the word "follow" became kind of a
Yeah.
follow with Rask, I believe his name is,
Rost.
and Rost and young a
Aloy.
Aloy.
Oh, Aloy, yeah.
But one of my favorite parts is when you find that I don't know, that squirmy little dude who's like, hello, and he's like so timid.
Yeah.
Just kept like, but like there was as watching you play this, I just kept like riffing on that dude. And it just makes me laugh thinking about that guy just like stuttering every time he sees Aloy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would have been a great like addition to the story. It's like, here's a bumbling fool who just has a crush on you and can't speak in full sentences when he's around you.
But he made her an outfit.
Like
you should wait. He made me an outfit. Like I don't know why.
I made you this tunic.
Could you put it on right now? Like right here? I gotta go back. I gotta go back to that game. I love it. I just can't seem to get past the beginning. Don't know what it is.
Well, I'll give it the old try. I believe you let me borrow it. I have it here. I'll give it the old try, and I'll let you know. But yeah, definitely a fun game. Fun trying to work out how it would be through a playthrough and losing our shit on that dude, just like laughing hysterically. Yeah.
No, I can't wait to do more of those because we have a lot of like let's plays like it like that we've done that no one's seen. Like we did a lot actually.
Just us trying it out to see like how it would be.
We did even a lot. I think last year we just never did anything with them, and now they're just gone to the ether of my dead PS4. So
yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well. Well, we were like, what we're trying to do now is it'll be a little bit better produced and look a lot better and sound a lot better than what we would have been making then anyways.
Yep.
So
Yep.
We'll just call those good practices and
it was good times.
Soldier on.
I do have one other thing I remember though too is when we were doing the Batman episode, and I was like all of a sudden had to cut out mid like sentence because my cat kept climbing the mattress and kept getting stuck.
In your like office room or like the
this room right
there. Yes, like
the room I'm in now.
Yeah.
Still here. I haven't moved. I've been here since March.
Cats have made an appearance on this show several times, if not in seeing them, but definitely their voice. Because I know Jerry has meowed very loudly during our conversations before.
You have to. You have a background for a cat, so.
Yes.
Anyways, any other moments from our 2020 adventure into podcasting?
No, nothing else was good.
Nothing else was good. Everything was crap.
No, it was all good. But those are my favorites. Those are like my favorite conversation. And honestly, I'm gonna just steal yours. Like my favorite moment is when Kristen came down and yelled.
It's fun. No, I think that's a good. I think I'm ready to take a break so we can talk about the rest of 2020.
Cheers to many more.
And we're back. So Paul, with your no so bright, will you give me your first honorable mention tonight?
Yes, sure. No so bright seems like it's a reference to a drunk or something now that I think about that line. But anyways, my honorable mention is something on Disney Plus. It is something that is not Star Wars.
Okay. I was like,
dun, dun, dun. Though there are great things on there. Something that kind of consumed my entire household for a good period of time in 2020 is Hamilton, the musical.
Oh, I never seen
the
that
movie. You need to. So it was supposed to come out in theaters, but in the midst of the pandemic, like over the 4th of July weekend, Disney decided we're just going to put it on the streaming and let's put it on Disney Plus and see what happens. and really it made Disney Plus even more of a juggernaut than it already is. And it's certainly now like a success story in terms of what you can do with a streaming service. And it also like really started. I don't know if it. I think it did start the trend of having movies premiere on like a streaming platform like that in such a like grand way, because it was expected to come into theaters. Like they shot it, filmed the cast doing the performance. I think in two different performances, but then also while there was no audience in the theater, so they could do like close-ups of the actors, singers, whatever.
I'm not sure when Hamilton came out, but I think Onward was like the first one that did that.
To be just like a
because that never made to theaters because that was like right before it, and then a few other ones left theaters and then came streaming like before, like Birds of Prey and like.
But I mean, like this was like an event. My neighbor,
a lot of people
like elderly neighbor said, my sister's coming over today. We're gonna watch Hamilton. Like excited, like on a Friday. She's like, oh, we're watching Hamilton tonight. Like we were getting like the family together to watch it. It's extremely interesting. It's the story of Alexander Hamilton, one of the founding fathers, but the language with which it is like told and sung is hip hop and rap, and it's awesome. Like it really is some of the best music of this year. And I know that it's been out for like a couple years now. Now that I think about it, but it was just like an amazing show to see, and kind of putting it on Disney Plus made like something that wouldn't have been accessible to everybody, accessible to just about anybody who had like a login,
Mm-hmm.
And just like any streaming service, everybody has somebody else's login. It was amazing.
I wonder who you have.
And I highly recommend it. Yes, you who own my login. Thank you. Dankeschön.
I feel like I just missed out on going there. Like I think when it came out, like I was like thinking about seeing it, and like but I just never really like something else was always going on, or like I just never really put it on. I feel like it's something I had to watch with Amber, and then I never. But then we never could find time to do anything like that. It's just like I don't know, it just never happened.
I felt that way too, and I was forced to like sit and watch it, and I'm very glad I was, because I had no idea what it was about. I was just like, okay, it's like a hip opera of Hamilton, of the life of Alexander Hamilton, but it's so much more than that, and it's actually, I feel, more relevant nowadays than it was even 2 years ago. Like this year has made things come into stark focus and contrast, so definitely one worth seeing. And the songs are dynamite, dude. You are a secret musical lover, like I am. Not so secret.
I don't. I'm not secretive. I mean, I love musicals.
Like musicals, it's an excellent musical, and in just about every way, it rewards the viewer. I love it. I think it's one of the best.
I made you watch a musical this year, so.
Made me watch it.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, that's true. That does count as a musical. There's a lot of music in that. Oh, that's my favorite moment of this year, is seeing Steve Martin in that movie.
Oh my god!
Because it hits me like a surprise.
Oh, it's so good.
The biggest surprise of 2020.
No, that's a good one. I even forgot that came out this year, obviously, because I didn't see it, so it's like it never really struck a chord with me. But I will have to give it a try. So my first honorable mention, kind of off topic for our show, but it was a really actually big event for me, and this is pre-COVID. It happened in February of 2020. Okay. The 49ers went to the Super Bowl.
Oh yes, they did.
And they lost, which is sad that I have to say, like, that's one of my favorite moments of 2020. But
they got there.
They got to the Super Bowl, and like it was and really just like the playoffs in general in January, like watching them just like barrel their way to the Super Bowl was just a glorious thing for me. Like this was like the 49ers of 2019 were an amazing team, and it sucks that they lost in such a way they did, because they were winning. Like I literally was getting like with 4 minutes left in the game, like texts from people like, "Congrats, Justin! Hey, your team won! I can't believe it! They it's in the bag!" And then it's like the Kansas City Chiefs
don't ever say that again.
decided to like score 21 points in like 5 minutes for some stupid reason. Like it was just
God.
like I remember like the feeling like was so awesome. I got to throw my own Super Bowl party. I hadn't done that in ages, and I was like so excited about it, like so stoked because I hadn't seen the Niners in the Super Bowl in so long, and never seen them win a Super Bowl either, technically. And I just was like 5 minutes away from seeing it happen, and it didn't. Though it sounds disappointing, but just like I don't know, it was just something about that team was just so freaking good.
Yeah.
Even though they lost,
Yeah.
the Kansas City Chiefs are just freaking nuts, and they're really good too. But like,
Thinking about the two of those teams, like coming head to head, like as you said, like both of them basically mowed through the competition to meet in the finals that year. It was this year, and yeah, I was thankfully not among those people who spoke too soon and congratulated you. It's like with football, it's like not until there's no seconds left on the clock can you celebrate.
I was so quiet too. Like all my people at my house, my brother was there, my dad was there. Like Justin, like they're all like so excited for him. I'm like, it's like stop it,
Stop, hold
but
still.
like I mean, there was a part of me that was feeling it was true too because like they got the interception and at the end there, it's just like, oh, we got this now, like because it's like our defense is like going, this is solid. There's no way they can. We're winning by we're winning by like 11 points. Like like there's no way, there's not enough time. Like our defense is just too good right now. There's no way for them to catch up. Our offense is actually clicking, and it just fell apart. And I'm just like, oh, but like it is an amazing moment. Like I still think of that because it was like a time that's like weird. Like it happened this year. I had a party, and the Niners were in the Super Bowl, and it's like all of a sudden now I'm like the Niners are 6-9 right now in NFL. It's like a different time zone. It's like, and it sucks because COVID destroyed them this year, but like I do think back to that February of 2020 just because it was watching them get through all the different playoff games, like playing amazing, like having such awesome, like just fun plays. Just even when they lost, it was just like amazing. But just it just it
I
was so
mean,
good.
It was like finally it felt like a Super Bowl of teams that like without the stigma of the Patriots, or I don't know, it felt like a really, I don't want to say like a clean Super Bowl, but like a really exciting one because it was teams that hadn't been there, and it felt like just like a new start.
Yeah, the Chiefs haven't been there in ages. They haven't been there, like they haven't really they haven't won a game in 50 years, so they're well deserved. Like I like Andy Reid a lot. Like I was rooting for the Chiefs for the longest time. They're like my AFC team, and it was weird seeing my two teams against each other. But I had to go for the Niners. Obviously, was my main one. But I wasn't like mad that they lost. They won. I just just like it was just a good game, and it's kind of weird now that thinking back to like how different sports were, just this year at one point.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. That's a very good one, though. Definitely one close to your heart.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely imagine. I think I've got one that's close to your heart as well. I'm going to stick with the streaming service Disney Plus, and I'm just going to say the Clone Wars final season.
Okay. Yeah. No.
All right. I mean, as an event in 2020. Because I think the first one came out in like at the end of February, so we got like the beginning of the shutdown, the pandemic shutdown, like as these episodes are airing, like week by week, and they just get better and better, so that by like the first week of May is when the last episode came out. There was this sense of like, well, now what do I do? Because the Clone Wars last season aired, and I'm still in like lockdown. We're still like
which
shut
is
down.
funny because like the end of the season is kind of depressing, kind of like it is kind of sad.
Very depressing.
It's like, but like
purposely so.
But yeah, so like I mean, obviously that's something on my mind this year was the Clone Wars. The fact that we got a 7th season, like they brought Ahsoka back, and Darth Maul was phenomenal. Like everything was so perfect in that. It's like people say like the Ahsoka episode sort of made it slow down a little bit, but I actually like those too. I don't think they were that bad. Like it's like
it's like a regular season of Clone Wars though. There's like certain episodes that are like not necessarily filler episodes, but they're like fun episodes, or they give you a different perspective on what it's like to live in Coruscant, which does kind of like set up how the end plays out and how Ahsoka reacts to Obi-Wan telling him that like Anakin is going to be spying on the Chancellor.
Yep.
She's like, this is why people have like lost faith in the Jedi and why people have like lost trust in the Jedi Council is because of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it took her like going away and like seeing how regular people live and what they think of like the Jedi and the Council and how they think like, oh well, the Jedi started this war. You know, like how like that misinformation can happen and strange, but very interesting to see in a fictional setting.
Yes.
But yeah, awesome animation too, and then it syncs up with Revenge of the Sith. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Mwah, chef's
Yeah.
kiss.
Can't wait for Bad Batch because I think it's just going to continue that kind of vibe.
Oh, dude, yes, it looks great. Yeah, what was it? Like the trailer came out a while back. Right?
Well,
like a little teaser.
Well, the
Sizzler.
newest trailer came out like 2 weeks ago with the investor call.
I forgot about that one.
Yep,
Yes.
yep. There was a teaser kind of like a while back. They announced it. There's like a logo.
That's what I was thinking.
And then the trailer like was just pretty much a good like minute and a half. And what's her name's in it? Fennec from Mandalorian.
Oh really?
Yeah, she's gonna be in the Bad Batch.
Good. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's all connected. That's how it should have been.
Yes, it is. How it should have been from the beginning. Oh my goodness, Justin. Oh my.
No, Clone Wars is definitely on my mind. I had a different way of saying it later on. Is kind of be part of my favorite, but
all right.
I'll explain.
We'll come back to it then.
Yeah.
We can leave it there.
No, but it wasn't just that. Like it's like obviously we'll get there.
Yes.
So I have another like kind of it's sort of like an honorable mention because I feel like I have a lot more than I realized as going into this.
Sure.
It's more of a shout out than anything, but beating Link's Awakening remake.
Oh,
yeah,
little
it's
accomplishment.
Sort of a little fun one there. I got the game last year, but then with just life and distractions and things, just never really finished it. And it's a remake, so it's not like I played the game before. And there was
no
a point.
Urgency to beat it.
Yeah. Well, it was that, but also like my kids kept telling me I couldn't play it without them because they like watching me play it, and I'm just like, okay, I guess I can't play it. So then I just kept finding other things to play at nighttime, and then it just made me not want to play it anymore because I just never could play it. So then I finally got to the point like mid our lockdown, I didn't have any more games to play. I think I had burned out on Animal Crossing. And I'm just like, what else am I going to play? And then, my PS4 had died. So I'm just like, what else am I going to do here? I'm like, well, I guess I'll finish Link's Awakening. Like, I guess I'll get back into that. And I just, like, started clicking with me again, and just the nostalgia was there. And, like, I literally cried when I beat the game. Like, I was just like, I got to the end and, like, saw the windfish. And if you don't know Link's Awakening Remake, like, or Link's Awakening in general, it's a really adorable Link's game, and I just seeing the end, watching him. Whenever I play the game with my children too, it's like beating a game like makes me nostalgic for some odd strange reason. Like I don't know, just makes me feel like a kid again, and it was just sort of a little fun little moment to finally get through that game because the game's gorgeous and beautiful, and I just love how they changed the style. I would love them to do that with other Link games, just that kind of weird art style. I'd love them to bring it to other ones, other top-down ones.
Okay. So maybe some of the Game Boy Advance ones, like the
the Oracle
tracks and
Oracle seasons and even
Four Swords.
Maybe Four Swords. I would personally even like it. Like maybe this is a blasphemy to say. I would like them to just remake the original like that, just like the original Legend of Zelda.
Ooh.
Wow. With that vibe. Like I don't think it diminishes the original, but it would just be kind of fun to see it in a kind of an updated graphics format. I don't think Link to the Past, because I feel like that's like good, the way it is. I don't think you need to change anything there. But I don't know. I really liked it a lot. So it was a fun little moment of the year.
I know we're going to be talking about it pretty soon, but in Breath of the Wild there is like kind of a whole callback to that in one island in that location. I forget what the name of the island is, but it's like it's kind of like it's like simulated being shipwrecked where you're stripped of all your stuff, and it's like, okay,
yep,
now you have to do this task or whatever it is you have to do without any of your gear, and there's lots of there's plenty of enemies, and you have to just kind of like figure it out. It's great. It's a good stuff. I think it's like you have to get like the 3 orbs or whatever and put them.
Yeah, I never went to that island, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's super fun. I will save that conversation for another day then. But yes, yes, it was very much like a callback, if not like a recreation of that Game Boy game in Breath of the Wild for like a little while in miniature. But yeah, man. Okay, so completing a game that you that you had been like kind of batting around. I hear you. If I'm gonna just be honest, I'll throw that one in as an honorable mention too. Is finally playing and beating Breath of the Wild. That was very one of my favorite moments of the year. Um, but I would also like to throw as a quick shout out Fall Guys.
See, I missed that. I got to get it.
A perennial like favorite. Like now when I just like turn my PlayStation on, I'm like I could play a couple rounds of that. Like I could just get into that for a few minutes.
Well, it came out. Well, it came out when my PlayStation was gone, and I got it. I have it. I got it for Play. I still was getting my
You can still
my
get
free
into
games.
it, man. I'm still playing it.
So now that it's PS5, I'm thinking about jumping in, but I just haven't had a chance to yet.
We'll go together. We'll try to get
we'll
in,
do it again.
in the same server. Yeah.
Let's
It's
play.
fun.
Is that a future Let's Play?
Oh, okay. Let's do that. Let's do that. It'll be embarrassing, but it'll be fun.
No, it looks like a lot of fun. It's like a battle royale platformer. It just looks awesome. Like, did you ever
Just
get
running and jumping?
Did you ever win?
Ever win? No, but I've gotten in like the top 10 or like the top 8, something like that.
Oh, you got goals there, Paul. You got to win.
I'm just glad to make the cut in these things. Sometimes you get so frustrated, you're like, God damn it, finally. As long as I cross the finish line. Another one like that is Super Mario 35. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I won a couple times of that one.
Me too. I had screenshotted my the first time I got like 3rd place and 2nd place, and then I forgot to do it when I got 1st place a couple times.
Yeah,
I was
no proof.
Damn it! I should have screenshot it.
But no, that was a big thing for a lot of people this year. You were, before we started,
fun.
You were talking about Among Us a little bit too. It's like, it's like these like. It's like because I remember earlier in the year you were like saying like I tried to get you to play Last of Us and it's just like you didn't want to play it because it was just so depressing, right? It's like
it dark and dismal and sucky,
and like
everything sucks.
It's a good game.
Like life for these the game was a Naughty Dog game. It's just like everything of the life of your character and all the NPCs sucks. And it's like, I just don't want to do this right now. I want to play Fall Guys.
Yeah, I know. Well, that was a lot of people. It's like
pink wolf, you know, falling on on like a wipeout stage.
Well, that was the thing. Like, look at Animal Crossing. There was another thing like that. Like that was my Fall Guys this year. Was Animal Crossing. I don't really want to shout it out because it was just like a time sink of just relaxing.
Everybody.
It's like you didn't have to think about it. Like it was just nice to be in a little cutesy little world and just I don't know.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. It's like, but it just made you happy, that game. Like I guess you want to call it a shout out. Like I remember I was going in there like visiting people's islands and just like it was kind of a nice way to like during the beginning of COVID, like just to connect with people in a very simple way without being competitive. You're just sort of like literally just were standing around each other in a video game, just like, hey, let's spin in circles and just say kumbaya. It was like it wasn't really much to it. Like you just explore their island and see how they decorated it, and that was it. Like it wasn't like there was other things to it. I don't play it anymore. There's some people that still play that game and just play it like religiously, and I can't commit to a game like that. Just can't do it.
But it's cool. Like more power to the people who can basically pour all their energy into Animal Crossing. But yeah, it seems like it has a very restorative effect on the players. Like
I was seeing people.
Just nice. It's like Harvest Moon almost in that like.
Well, you were saying how like a lot of people were like talking about.
Something.
A lot of people were talking about Hamilton, but like I mean, I was finding people that never played video games that like I'm buying a Switch to play Animal Crossing. Like they just did it for that. Like it's like. People will like just see this game. It's like I need to play that. I don't know what made them realize they needed it if they've never played a game before. I don't know what made that happen. I don't understand it. It just sort of became this big thing that happened because people took it home.
Yeah, no, I agree. I wonder if it was like people who want to get into gaming, but don't want are not interested in PC gaming, not really sure where to go with the console wars. Like Nintendo is always like kind of like the outlier option or like the other option. Like
Yeah.
well, I could just play Nintendo games. Like they have Mario, they have stuff like I'm familiar with,
Hmm. But
and and
it was Animal
Animal Crossing
Crossing
is like
was the
yeah,
one
like
that brought
Animal
him in.
Crossing has like a lot of people know about Animal Crossing, and then like this one in particular hit at a time when everyone was going to be at
Yep.
home. It's like, well, how
Yep.
else do you
Yeah.
socialize with people? Like, well, we could do it in this way, in
Yep.
this nice, clean, and congenial way. But
No. It's
no,
it.
man, that's
I
a great
guess.
choice.
Yeah. I definitely shout out Animal Crossing because I did spend a ton of time. Amber played it. My kids played it. My
Hmm.
kids were playing it yesterday because I bought actually my kids for Christmas, like kid controllers, Switch controllers. Like
Hmm.
they're smaller, so they hold your hand and they have like cute designs to them. And
Nice.
like they loved it. Like it was, they don't have like all the features of the Pro controller, but they look like a Pro controller.
Oh, okay.
And but like they're like I remember like my 4 year was like when she held like I can hold it, like she was so excited, like she's like I can
It's
it
her hands.
because they don't like playing with the Joy Cons. They don't like them. They just like I
Okay.
think it's confusing and like for kids it is hard because I'm just like push the A button and I'm just like
Oh
oh wait
yeah.
you don't have the A button one and then like for the
I,
other kid that has it it's a sideways X. It's not an A
mm.
button.
So yeah, it's changed like how I talk about buttons when I say it. Like I'm like press the right button or
I
press
just say this the right
up
circle
button.
button. That's what I say. The right circle
Yep,
button.
yep. The top circle button, the bottom circle. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I'm surprised that's not a
Uh,
shout out or an on just getting a Switch this year, Paul. Or is that your favorite?
oh yeah, that's. I mean, for a while it was just the Celeste machine.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite moments of the year. Freaking one of the best platformers I ever played in my life. Celeste, such a good game.
Glad to finally
Um,
play. I'm glad to finally get to experience it. We've talked a lot about this off air, but yeah,
it was like I had bought a machine just to play this game because I was not interested in doing anything else with it but sitting and staring at Celeste. Um, that's a great game. I will also briefly shout out a movie that came out in 2019, but I didn't see it until 2020, and that's the Martin Scorsese movie, The Rolling Thunder Review, which
I
is
don't
a
know
kind
this.
of a pseudo documentary, but most of it is kind of fabricated of Bob Dylan's tour starting in 1975 that went up until the present. He's
Hmm.
still touring like from that point from 1975. Like he had given it a break for like 8 years, and then he picked it up again, and it was like he just like turned. He gathered all of his other really good musician friends together,
Hmm.
and it reminded me a lot of like seeing our friends in high school that were really good musicians like playing together for the first time, and it was like wow, like these people are at their very best, and he's like pushing them to be their best, and took this like traveling circus on the road. And if they were in a town where, because I know like they get to Connecticut and they pick up Joni Mitchell, like the singer songwriter Joni Mitchell, and she just joins it. So like they would go from like town to town, like, oh, hey, you're a musician, you're pretty good, just join in the tour, and it just became this thing, and it really is a tour that's never ended. But I don't know, it's a really cool like snapshot of America in the '70s and how music was kind of like I don't know, kind of like a medicine for people to help them deal with the after effects of excuse me,
Bless you.
the after effects of sneezing and
Hmm.
the like the end of Vietnam and being humiliated at the end of Vietnam, and it's a weirdly like heavy movie, but it's also kind of like a concert film. I don't know. It's hard to describe. Just worth seeing. Very fun, very well put together, really interesting stuff.
Cool.
But yeah, yeah, that's
Well,
another thing I just have to throw in.
and if we're gonna talk about things that came out previous years that we watched this year, and I don't know if you're gonna talk about this yet or not, and you can cut me off,
That,
but well, it's the Watchmen series.
mm,
Like I mean, we both watched this. We talked about it. I don't think we have it up on Patreon yet, but yeah, we talked about this in very big depth. But
yes.
watching that this year, it was definitely a highlight. of 2020.
Yeah.
That show is amazing, and I won't talk about it too much more than that, except that it's an amazing, phenomenal show that blew me away. That I'm just surprised in how much I had liked and loved.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just it could have been made minute by minute as we were watching it, like in the present. Like that's how pertinent those issues were, and like how
Yeah,
strangely,
so
yeah,
good. Highly
crazy.
recommend it.
Yep.
Highly recommend it. But yeah, that was an amazing experience. So I feel like we have a lot more to talk about than I thought about. I do have a couple more things to bring up before we go to our favorites, though.
Okay.
One,
I got
I guess I won't spend a ton of time on this, but I'm going to shout out an anime.
What's that?
Sword Art Online Season 3. Like,
Okay.
I know you know nothing about Sword Art Online. I think maybe you've seen the
I've
first
heard
season.
that title before.
Okay. This is an anime that me and Amber have like dived into since the very beginning. It started like maybe I feel like the first season came out before we even had kids. Like that's how old this
Oh
anime
wow.
is. But like they don't do seasons like it's like very sporadic. It's like, oh, here's season 1 and then 2 years later here's season 2 and then here's like season 3 part A, here's season 3 part B. It's like
Okay.
very weird how they do it. But anyways, the most recent season was freaking awesome. Like I don't even know how else to describe it. Like we were watching it week to week. We caught up a little bit, like middle of the summer, but the final episode came out in September, and we were just like sucked right into it. Like we usually like this show, but we usually like kind of backlog it so we can binge it. But then like
Okay.
towards like the end of it, we're just like we're so engrossed into it
Need to
because
see it.
it's just like it just there were so many epic moments. This is very anime stuff, but it's like Sword Art Online is just literally it's just like a continuous thing of them getting sucked into a video game. But this video game was more like not even a video game, but like more realistic virtual reality, where it was very bloody and very gory and like very mature. Like there's things that happen in this where we're like very surprised. They even had a disclaimer before one episode of like you're like this is like has themes of like this, and me and Amber were just like completely just like in love with the show because like they kind of brought a lot of nostalgia into it. It was sort of like a fan servicey thing, like a lot of anime is, but they presented it in a very cool, awesome way. I don't, without talking about the plot too much, it's hard to really describe it, but it just the animation of that show is always really good, and they just do a really good job at like bringing in like combat music at the right moment, and like handling the end of a battle. They handle so well. They don't really drag out battles too much. But like
Okay.
when they actually make them do the final thing, it's like freaking epic and really cool. And I'm just like sad that it's over. And it's not over. It's like it'll come back. It always does.
But you just don't know when.
Yep. But it was just like it was something me and Amber both got into because we haven't really watched a lot of anime together in a while, and it was nice just to get back to an anime that we both love and just
Sure.
be able to
Sure.
experience it again. And like I even forgot that we watched it this year because of everything, and I just like was looking through what happened this year. I'm like, oh yeah, we watched that this year. But yeah, so a lot of fun things I did this year. I don't know. I've had a lot more time being at home like all the time
Like yeah.
to do these things. That's I guess the one benefit of this year.
I will say one of the movies that premiered on a streaming service on Amazon Prime was also one of my favorite moments of the year. And yeah, I don't know if I would have seen this movie if it came out in theaters. I would have probably waited, but because it just premiered instantly, I was like, let's watch it. Let's see what happens. And that's the sequel to Borat. Borat subsequent movie film.
I've never seen it. I've never
It
seen
is
any of those.
like the first one. A lot of it is improvised. It's just so like sharply funny, and I mean it actually has like Borat's daughter is a character in it for a long period of time in the movie. She's in a cage because that's what you do with your daughters in Kazakhstan. According to the
Yeah.
Borat lore, like to be a canon, somebody from Kazakhstan. But one of the highlights of the movie is how his daughter gets like a makeover and poses as a TV journalist and manages to interview Rudy Giuliani
That
and
part
get
I
him
knew
to
about.
almost drop his pants.
Yeah.
He basically is fondling his member on this interview
He
thing.
was adjusting his
It's
pants though, Paul. You
crazy,
didn't know that?
just
He was just
crazy.
adjusting it.
What's up?
He was just adjusting it. He was
Yeah, well,
tucking
that's what you do.
he was
That's what you
tucking
do
in.
when you meet a nice looking young woman. You lay on a bed and you just adjust your junk.
Yep.
Like that
He was
sounds good.
tucking his
Like
shirt
not
in.
even over the pants adjust, like down in the front,
Yeah.
pulling like about to pull it out when Borat himself comes running in and he says, "No, Rudy, she's too young for you. She's only 15." Or she's too old for you. I'm sorry, I just botched the joke. She's too old for you. She's only 15. Yeah, crazy. Apparently, they were like trying. This was like their objective was to get Rudy Giuliani on tape doing something embarrassing. Oh boy, did they succeed!
Yeah, seriously.
It's great. It's a great look at just a current situation, and oh boy, it's not as good as it might be up there with the Four Seasons landscaping press conference, but
Well,
man,
that one was
man,
just,
it's good.
Yeah, that one was just ridiculous. But yeah, sure.
If you like hits like that, you'll love the original.
I never got into the Borat movies. I don't know why. If it's just like it's that humor that like it like turns me off just seeing like the advertisements for it. I don't know what it is. Like just like the cover of it too, like him just like with like the mask over his genitals, just like completely turns me off.
You know, they always focus on I feel like the wrong things for promotional stuff. But like the Borat like character in the sketch was on the Ali G show.
Okay, I never watched
which was
it.
an HBO show, which was really, really good, really, really funny. It was just a persona. It was like I'm playing a foreign journalist who comes from some like Eastern European backwater, like former Soviet country, where like everything of the West is like a crazy, like awesome, amazing, wonder. So the first movie is really good. It still is good in terms of like satire and like biting criticism. And the second one does the job really well too. So if you like the first one, you'll definitely like the second one. And if you haven't seen them, you definitely should. Those are all the things I liked about 2020 beside my favorite thing. That's all I got. You got one more though?
I think I
you
did.
said you had one more.
Thought I did, but maybe I got them all.
Yeah.
I think because I said Watchmen. Oh, getting a PS5. Yeah, duh.
Oh.
I mean, it was just so recent, It's like, like honestly, the thing has been amazing, and then adding to that, beating Spider-Man in 2018.
Ooh.
So that's definitely on my list. That just happened last week, so like that kind of capped off my 2020 pretty well.
Nice.
I can't argue about that too much. Spider-Man Remastered though is glitchy as all hell. Like I am surprised. I've never had a game this glitchy, and it's like weird. I'm going through the DLC. I loved it. Obviously, I platinumed it. And I'll just loop in everything there in the PS5. Bug Snacks, Astrobot, all the things I play in the PS5 has been the best like month of the year. As far as gaming goes, it's been
sure.
great to have that again, and I can't wait to keep playing more. And it's surprisingly not my favorite thing, but like I feel like it's just I don't know, it's such a great system because even though I have a glitch or I have a problem, like I told you this too before, but like I have all these glitches, but the fact that the PS5 just loads so much faster, and like you just like, oh, I'll just get right back in. Okay, cool. Like it's so weird. It's like how fast you just start playing. Like I think the other night I hadn't played Spider-Man in a few days because I went away for the holidays, and I just turned my PlayStation 5 in again. I just pushed down the on button. I'm like, oh, there's my game, and just like literally like seconds, I'm just playing again, and I'm just like, it's just the weirdest feeling. Like it's like, did I do? Wait, what? Really? I'm done? Like that's it? Like I just keep forgetting how fast it takes to actually start playing. It's like odd to me, but yeah, I can't wait to keep playing. I can't wait to get to Miles Morales next after I do the DLC. That's my next big thing to do. So
very exciting. All right then. Well, those are all honorable things to bring up. Well, why don't we take a quick we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk about favorite thing of the year 2020. And we're back. Here we are. Snow is falling.
Not really.
It's getting a little chilly. Time for some holiday grog.
I I drove through a blizzard the other day. That was fun.
Did you really?
Yeah, on the way from Buffalo to Rochester, I was like a whiteout. Like I was like, you were like the only car on the road, and you see all these cars coming into Buffalo, and then we're
Nobody's
leaving,
trying to escape.
and I'm just like, oh my, are they closed? Like,
Sorry, turn back. City's closed.
and then we get to Rochester, and it's like green grass. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's been very strange weather. We had 27 inches of snow, and then within a few days, it was gone. Just gone. Rain for a full day just erased it. We had 3 snowmen in the yard, all gone.
Oh boy.
But all right, Justin, we're here at the finish line. What was your favorite thing about the year 2020?
Just Star Wars. Period. I'm just making it very simple and broad.
All
of it. Like, I mean, the whole thing. This is the freaking amazing year for Star Wars. I mean, like, honestly, I would even like loop in like last Rise of Skywalker with that. Like, it's been pretty awesome. You know, Rise of Skywalker. Say what you will about the movie, but like the past year of Star Wars has been really, really, really awesome. You already mentioned Clone Wars. What a great way to start it. Like, it just kind of like brought back the magic of that. Like, I can't believe how much I missed that era. You know, like, I actually finished Rebels this year too because I had never finished it before. So you got to add that in there too because I never finished that show. So we did that this year too because like that really got us like, okay, we really need to finish Rebels now. We watched season 7 of Clone Wars. We had done like 2.5 seasons already, so like let's go finish that off. Rebels is a great show. So I have a lot of Star Wars in my repertoire for the year. Then you add in Squadrons, like that one came out this year. Like
that's right.
And though I had like a horrible glitch, I'm more blaming EA for that. The game itself was, you know,
not just you, right?
Yeah, not just me. You. But like it works now. I just haven't a chance to get back to it since it broke. Cause I couldn't play the game for a month, and then I got a PS5, and I just haven't gone back to it. But like the game itself is actually really awesome. Like I can't believe they were able to make another X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, and actually make it make sense, and actually be really good, and actually be an awesome Star Wars game. You know, it's like we've had like it's just like every Star Wars thing that's come out. I feel like since Jedi Fallen Order of last year has been relatively really awesome for the most part. But like the biggest thing, the most important thing is obviously Mandalorian season 3. Like I what else can I say? Like I mean it's every episode was awesome. Every moment was amazing. And spoilers, Luke fucking Skywalker. Like I mean
is it the 3rd season or the 2nd season?
2nd season. Sorry if I said 3rd, I'm sorry.
Okay. I started to panic. I was like, wait a minute, what did I miss? But yes, Luke!
Yes.
Fucking Luke Skywalker kicking ass with a green lightsaber. Post Return of the Jedi. What we always wanted to see. What we always wanted to see. We finally got to see
your mic cut out.
It was what we'd always wanted to see. Luke kicking ass with a green lightsaber, gathering students for the new academy, for the new Jedi Academy. Apparently that dude who was in the show was his stunt double, was like Luke Skywalker's stunt double. And that's why he's like kind of looks like Luke. Like it's pretty good in terms. I'm sure they did some digital marking up, but like
they credit Mark Hamill, so it's obviously his voice. But that was the stand-in was a stunt double. I don't know if it was
from
the originals. I have to look that up now.
I don't know. I heard this information from somebody, and I believe them, to be honest. I don't know why they would lie to me about something like this.
Okay, I'm just curious, like what stunt double it was.
But now that I think about it, there are so many lies like this that start when you're like on the schoolyard when you're young. Like, oh, I heard this guy. My dad works for Nintendo. That kind of lie.
Yeah.
Like I can just embellish the truth though. But it wouldn't surprise me. I felt like they did some kind of digital touching up of the faces. But it was not as stark as like Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One.
No, like there's definitely
even though I thought that was done pretty good too.
Like a lot of people, I don't know what I'm missing. Like everyone complains about CGI. It's like all these like youngins, I think, or something. They just like, oh, that was crappy shit. That was crappy CGI. I'm like I thought Tarkin was actually really good. It's not perfect, but I honestly thought it was believable. Like when Tarkin came out, Carrie Fisher's version of that movie was actually it was weird, but like I accept it though. Like it's like
Yeah,
I don't like knock it for looking bad. I'm just like, oh, it's cool. They're finding ways to bring these characters into movies. Awesome. I'm all for that because
sure.
obviously there's no other way to do it. I mean, yeah, you can make Samuel L. Jackson look young for Marvel movies, but I don't think you can make Carrie Fisher look like Carrie Fisher did in New Hope. I'm sorry, you just can't. Like,
They tried, and it was clearly it was not her body. I don't even know if it was her voice, but it was just like they tried to. It was like they were using the tools from the episode 4 video game
yeah.
and trying to use it in a modern gaming
But
system.
I thought Luke Skywalker is like I think it's the best one they've done. They handle it right. They don't overdo it. They show what you need to see out of him without showing his face and make him look freaking awesome. Like
Yeah,
it's believable. It makes sense. I mean, we can go in a whole like maybe discussion on it on the season, but really, I was in tears watching that scene. I don't know why it hit me so much. Like Amber even like she's like, "Are you okay?" Like after the scene was over, I was like overwhelmed with emotion of like I don't know
yeah,
why I'm so like the music was really good. Obviously, you add in like the touching moment between these two characters that we just met, which was Grogu and Din. So it's like you got like that kind of emotion there too, which they handled that perfectly well. You know, it's like
yeah.
everything was lined up to make it really emotional. You got this nostalgia build up. You know it's Luke, but you're not sure, so you're build up that way too. You're just like, is it Luke? Maybe it's not Luke. It's possible it's not Luke. Other people fly X-wings. Maybe it's Dave Filoni flying his X-wing. He saves the day.
Yes, he's here. He put a lightsaber in his hand. Yeah,
But when you see like, and I see the cloak in the screen, it's like, is that Luke? I think it's Luke, but I don't know. Maybe it's not Luke. But the green lightsaber, man. When you see the lightsaber, it's just like, holy
oh my
crap, man!
god.
It's
When
so
okay,
good.
so watching that episode, they're pinned down by what is it? The Dark Troopers, which are just droids, and you're like, well, what could possibly save them? In the back of my mind, as this is happening, I'm like, well, a lightsaber would be really handy right about now, and I'm thinking like, who would be the one to come in? And then you see the X-wing, and I'm like, it has to be Luke. But are they really going to do that? Are they really going to do it? And then it's green lightsaber. And I'm like,
It just shows how much.
Kristen is watching and just like enjoying it, and I'm like, like, like celebrating
Yeah,
as it's happening.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I
jumping in place.
think I feel like we just like being a Star Wars fan as long as we have been, and all the times it's like I feel like we expected something and then just never get it. Like I feel like that is the story of Star Wars, and me just liking Star Wars for as a whole. Like I just find a ways to make it make sense. I'm just like, well, it makes sense because this, and this, and that, and that, and it's like
Yep.
I accept this now. I am okay with it. It's fine. It's okay that he doesn't like sand. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, I wouldn't like sand either living on Tatooine.
I don't know
But
why I talk about it then. It's like saying, "Do you like shoes?"
but no, like I just the show Mandalorian in general, like that's just like the final moment, right? There's just so many other ones throughout the season, like Boba Fett coming back,
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan being there. It's even like characters that you forget about, because even the first episode, the Marshal, like he's a great character too. There's a lot of great characters in this show that probably will come back someday.
Or are getting their own show, Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, no, like it's like Star Wars is in the best spot it's been, and it's like, and technically High Republic was supposed to come out this year too, and it didn't. But like, imagine if that came out too, and I would be in my glory right now.
We're there though. We're into such an awesome period of Star Wars right now. I'm just very thankful that we've managed to stick it out.
We survived long enough to see Star Wars
Right?
return.
Because honestly, I gotta tell you, like after the sequel trilogy had finished, I'm like, man, it's gonna be like another freaking generation until I see some kind of like some Star Wars that like either explores a part of the universe that I want to see, or that like gives me what I've been waiting to see. And Dave Filoni was like, I'll take that challenge.
Yeah.
And as
I mean, I give John Favreau some credit too, because he knows how to make.
no,
Yeah,
he does too.
like
The duo is
he
great.
wrote a lot of it. I think he knows how to write a story. Like Dave Filoni's not a bad writer. Like he's great, but like obviously there's some things in Clone Wars you could say like, okay, well we didn't really need that. It takes he sometimes doesn't deliver fast enough. Like you say go watch the Clone Wars. People are like, well, I didn't like season 1. It wasn't that great. Like it's like we got to give it some time. You got to let it simmer a little bit. Where like you can't have that for live action though. You can't have that. You almost need that kind of pop really fast. And that's where John Favreau I think understood with his with being in the MCU and like all that kind of connection and like having those like amazing moments happen sooner than later. So that blend has really helped because like Filoni can bring in the lore, he can set up things, he can build for future things, which is something the MCU didn't do the best at sometimes. Where you know what I mean?
Yeah, and Favreau is the one that's like, I know how to emotionally hook people into these series.
Yeah.
I know how to get you like involved and like from a storytelling perspective, keep you interested.
Mm-hmm.
Like Filoni is good at that too, but you're right. He's more of like the lore keeper and kind of like this is how it should go. This is how the story should go. And Favreau is the one that'll help. Like I mean, like it sounds like a really good team. I'm so glad that the two of them are working together on this. And I don't know if I would want any other two people in charge of Star Wars really like right now.
I like the directors they're bringing into it. I mean, your shows have multiple directors, but I like how they're bringing these kind of either fresh faces or creating different kind of toned episodes too. Like we've gotten like the horror episode, which wasn't one of my favorite one, but with the spiders and stuff like that, like the ice spider things. So you got things like that. You have like the infiltration in the first season where they're trying to, on the
prison ship.
The prison ship. Like there's these episodes are so different, but now it's making sense. It's in that Star Wars world. You have Ahsoka had a great year. Like you forget she came back in this too. It's like I could go on and on about just the season 2 of Mandalorian, but that's like the main thing. But overall, Star Wars this year was just amazing.
Her episode in particular is really good too because I mean Bo-Katan gives him the information. She's on the like forest moon or like the whatever. It makes it sound like it's this lush forest place, and then you get there and it's this like disgusting like smog ridden, and there's these ugly kind of troopers with their gas masks and this like weird like sort of society set up there. And it's just in like seeing her enter into that, it just brings everything into focus. And
that's what Star Wars is. It's supposed to be weird but like have a sense of familiarity. So like you watch that, it looks weird, but the shots are very familiar. Like the type of directing is familiar. Because it references what's that? I always forget how to say his name. The Japanese film director Akira
Kurosawa.
Yeah, like that's whole episode is really based on his filmmaking, and they've always referenced that with like Jedi and his kind of work, but like that really kind of emphasized that. And then setting up other shows, the future looks bright. Thrawn's coming into live action someday. It's like it's all good.
I already saw like some of the ideas that they have for casting for Thrawn, and I like all of them. Like I feel like that's such an interesting character. It's going to be very cool. Hey, my cat Jerry is trying to get on the episode here, Justin.
So what? Well, hello Jerry. Hi. What was your favorite, Paul? Do you have a favorite?
Yes, I do. He's content to just meow at me from outside the door.
Ah.
Yes, and I think you would have. Oh, there he is. I think you would appreciate it. It is something that you and your family. There you are, Jerry. You can be on camera for a little while. You and your family, I thought would appreciate this, and I'm not sure if you've seen it, but we should definitely talk about it more if you have. It's The Last Dance on Netflix.
Oh, Michael Jordan.
Yes. Yes.
Dude, that's your favorite thing this year. I am actually surprised.
Yes, 10 episodes. It is amazing.
You're not a big
Have you seen
basketball
it?
guy yet either, are you?
I don't watch any basketball. But here's the thing. This was a cultural phenomenon, and I remember this. Like I remember like the mid to late 90s that the Bulls were just
Mhm.
everywhere, and everything that you did like in sports, like we 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 bore witness to like a watershed moment in sports. Like there will never be another like team, another like athlete like that. Like I don't know. So and the thing came out like right at the start of the pandemic, like
Yeah,
right when
I didn't see it yet.
everybody's locked down, no pro sports are being played. ESPN just drops this, and this documentary about the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, and their final championship run. It's a amazing documentary, and I gotta say, like ESPN timing, pretty fucking amazing too. Like
Mhm.
how to help heal us, like show us like the glory
How,
days
I
of
see. I
and
couldn't.
like
I
the
didn't know how to get.
pinnacle of sports.
I was trying to watch it when it came out, but I didn't know how to. Like I didn't have access to anything. Like I couldn't watch it on ESPN Plus. I had ESPN
No,
Plus.
no, I've only ever seen it on Netflix, and
Okay. What? See, it wasn't.
it's
See, I missed the moment. Everyone was like watching it on TV with ESPN, and I'm just like, all right, well, I guess I'll watch it someday. And then I just sort of just never got around to watching it. Like, no, I've heard great things. My family all loved it, and I'm in shock. I'm more in shock that you're bringing
I
it up.
tried to stay away from Star Wars a little bit. I went with
Because
Clone Wars
yeah,
early
sure.
because I knew you were going to bring it in, and I'm like, can I just say that that's also my favorite thing of the year too? Is seeing
Sure,
Luke
that's fine. That's
Skywalker
fine.
walking with a green lightsaber kicking ass
No,
because
but no,
that is.
I
But I
figured.
mean, really, like the Last Dance is definitely worth seeing because I mean it's all real. It's all like
Yeah.
these guys, these super talented people, and all their personalities and their quirks and their how they gel together as a team, and just like the background on each of the players, even like the guys further down the roster, like Steve Kerr, like you would never even think of how important their role is on the team. But because of the style of team that it was under Phil Jackson and with Michael, like how it became something like greater than the sum of its parts, even with like the best player in the game, somehow the team itself like even rose higher.
Well, that's the biggest
Ugh,
thing I think
it's
you
amazing.
ask. It's like is Michael Jordan was an amazing basketball player, and I being from my family loves basketball, so I grew up in that. We didn't like the Bulls though because we were Knicks fans. So, but I like the Bulls. Everyone liked the Bulls. It's like
Everyone liked the Bulls.
yeah.
Yep,
So it's
at
like
that time.
but like that's what makes me curious to watch this though. Is like I've always wondered, being from my dad and his love for basketball, it's like, was Jordan great because he was great, or was he great because he had a team around him to make him great? Like, I've always wondered that because, you got like, comparisons to LeBron who can go from team to team and somehow get to the championship all the time, but his
Yep.
players aren't that great around him. He had a good team
Yep.
around him. And like,
Yeah, a couple
and
times. Yep.
and I think it helped him do these
Pardon
amazing
me,
magical
Michael.
things. Yeah, Michael. Like
Yeah, there's certainly like that is definitely there, and they are very honest, and the players are all very honest. I mean, a couple times they're just like, yeah, the plan was give the ball to Michael. There was no other plan. Like it's just get
hmm
Michael the ball.
yeah,
There are a couple times, just to give you an example, where like they're in a game, they're in like a tight series, or they're up against a matchup that's really tough, and they lose like the first game of the 7 game series. And then Michael says to himself, okay, you got me pissed off. I'll play a little harder. And then they sweep the next 4 games because Michael decides, I'm just going to play even harder this time. Now you've made me angry. And to just see that he has the ability to destroy teams on his own, and how he's like, I'll play at this level. I can play up here, but you only need me to play right here
yeah.
because I can beat you right here. And he's like, oh, you beat me? Oh, okay. I'll go here and see what you do. And then wipes the floor with them.
hmm
Nothing better than seeing the Utah Jazz like really like get close and feel like they've got that they've like chipped away at the armor of Michael Jordan, only to see him go, no, and then like have like a 47-point lead at halftime, like a ridiculous lead. So no, it's amazing. Like Kristen and I watched it together, and we were just neither of us are basketball fans, and we just were stunned, not just at the athleticism, but like the story behind the scenes as well. And it kind of like time jumps, so you're kind of watching his past as well as like the last season as it unfolds is like the
Yeah.
frame story for it.
Yeah,
It's
no.
really like well put together as
He-
like a film,
Yeah,
like
he.
10-part film
I heard.
altogether.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's like it's the best sports documentary out there, and I just gotta
Oh,
find.
yeah.
Just gotta find the
You gotta.
time in my Star Wars has got to be bad again so I can watch it. That's what it's gotta be.
Yeah, that's the problem. Well, you got a little lull here, a little lull in the void.
The High Republic comes
Take
out next
advantage.
week. What are you talking about?
You got 5 days, so get to watch it. Oh, it's great though. It's great.
See, there's a lot of good things that happened this year. A lot of
Yes.
good things.
Yes, and let's leave it there. Justin, this has been actually very fun. I was kind of unsure like where this would go, but I'm very happy with what we've able to cover, the ground that we've covered, and you got to mention squadrons in there even. So
Don't forget about Squadrons. I gotta go back and play it someday.
Yep. And even though this is a holiday special, there is going to be a next time. So next time on the show, can you tell us what we're going to be talking about?
Well, you kind of hinted at it earlier in this episode. We're gonna be
I
talking
did.
about some Zelda.
Yes, our favorite Zelda game. Very, very, very
Or
much looking forward to
We'll
talking
be talking more
that.
about Link, not Zelda, right? More like Link.
Well, we could talk about that terrible Zelda game for Philips CDI. There are many of them. I think there are 3 that are just about awful.
There isn't a lot of spin-off games for Zelda, though, is there? So you're always playing Link, except for that one horrible game, right?
Yeah, and then I think the Hyrule Warriors games are like the.
Well, yeah, you play the other characters.
How they're doing that.
Yeah, but Link's still the main protagonist. I'm playing that right now.
Sure. Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, Justin. Well then, until next time, visitors,
till next
listeners, till next year. Let's kick 2020 in the ass and say goodbye, and we wish you all a happy holiday and a happy new year from here at Playing Favorites. I'm Paul.
I'm Justin.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.